Welcome to Living Multidimensionally, where we explore what it really means to be a soul having a human experience in a world that is far more magical, interconnected, and alive than we were ever taught to believe. I'm your host, Jillian, an Akashic Records channel, energy healer, and multidimensional guide. And this podcast is a space where we peel back the layers of the seen and unseen worlds. Here, we talk about the messy, beautiful, deeply human parts of life, and the moments that remind us we are ancient, infinite, and connected to something so much bigger. Here I explore with you and guide you through the many layers of the spiritual journey. At times, I'm joined by friends, teachers, healers, and fellow travelers of the spiritual path. People who live with one foot in the physical world and one foot in the energetic realms, as we dive into the modalities, experiences, past lives, initiations, and everyday magic that shape us. This is a space for curiosity, embodiment, remembrance, and real conversations about what it means to navigate life as a multi-dimensional being, with humor, depth, and a whole lot of soul. So take a breath, open your heart, and let's journey in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Living Multidimensionally. So today's conversation is one that I am really excited for. We are diving deep into the subconscious, soul-centered living, and exploring the deeper layers of what it means to walk an aligned path. Today, I'm joined by Ahren, a one-on-one coach who works with soul-centered selling and subconscious transformation, helping people bring unconscious patterns to light so they can move through life with more awareness, authenticity, and alignment. I met Ahren through the group coaching and marketing container that I'm a part of, which focuses on growing your business through inner work and in a way that feels deeply aligned with the soul. And from the moment I connected with him, I could tell he carries a really grounded wisdom and depth. He's extremely insightful, and you can feel that he's someone who is deeply guided by his higher self. Ahren also works for a company called Being True to You, which is the first and oldest company in the world to pioneer psychedelic integration coaching. He's a certified psychedelic integration coach, a certified addiction recovery coach, and has 15 years of sales experience, which brings such an interesting and multidimensional perspective to the work that he does. He also works with these plant medicines, exploring the subconscious realms, and I'm excited to hear his perspective on what living multidimensionally means to him. On a personal note, we also both do jujitsu. My first jujitsu guest, he's a blue belt like me, and I think that says a lot about a person because jujitsu is not for the faint of heart. There is a deep level of discipline, humility, and self-awareness that comes with that practice, and I feel like that energy naturally translates into the deeper work about what we'll be talking about today as well. So I'm really excited to see where this conversation takes us. Ahren, welcome to the podcast.
What a introduction. Wow. Well done. Well done. That was a lot to remember, a lot to you didn't stuff your words. That was good.
Thanks. I
I
love
feel like I have a lot to live up to. I'm like, that's what that's me. Like, okay. Like that's a lot of things and yeah. I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude that likes getting deep and likes learning why people do what they do and why I do what I do, which has led me in a beautiful, painful journey and all the different things you can feel. And yeah, looking forward to talking and yeah, having a conversation.
Amazing. Yeah, it's I love the intros. I mean everyone is so unique and then yet we're also just dudes and gals on this planet
Yeah.
figuring it out.
Yep.
I this sort of already leads into my first question. Can you share with the listeners who you are beyond the labels, the soul behind the work that you do?
Hmm. Very hard to do that with words. Um, who am I? That's a big question. Who am I beyond the labels?
Kicking it off.
Yeah, I can tell you like where I'm from. I grew up in Australia till I was about 21 and I moved over to Canada and I've been here for about 12 years now. I came here August 2014. So yeah, coming up on 12 years. Um, I ended up moving here. I met my lovely lady Lexi in 2015 in January. We started dating in April 2015. Been together for 11 years now.
Amazing.
Um, Beautiful journey with all of that. The most beautiful, hardest, soul searching thing is being in relationship with somebody else. It'll shine all your shit. All your stuff will come out. We've been together since, I was 21. I was 22 and she was 21. And now we're both 33. I turned 34 in August. So, like, who we are, like, she's seen me at my highest of highs, lowest of lows. Same with her. It's probably been one of my greatest teachers is that relationship with her,
Hmm.
along with just living life and exploring your consciousness and doing a lot of different things. Um, Beyond the labels, what am I? Well, a lot of people say you're a soul having a human experience, and yet I like sharing this. A lot of people in what I would call the spiritual or healing space forget or reject the human experience and they want to constantly seek mystical experiences. I was stuck there for a while
Hmm.
where I wanted to do more psychedelics. I was looking for the next kind of thing to tell me. I was like a snake eating its own tail. I was like, well, maybe next time I'll find out what's wrong with me. And I had this seeking energy where the seeking was the problem. If you're looking for something, it means you think you don't have it. But if you already have it all and everything is within you, what are you looking for? So
Deep.
that's,
Yes.
yeah, you're not like what you think you're looking for is the same thing that's doing the looking.
Yes. Yes.
We're
Oh my
like,
God, I love that.
what the fuck am I looking for? Alan Watts talks about it. He's like, oh, you're looking for yourself. Who's the one doing the searching? Well, it's
That's like
also it's also me. It's like, oh,
a big realization that I think there's a point in the journey where you realize you're also the one doing, because I think maybe not everybody, but we're born into kind of really the 3D, but then there's a time when we start to not separate, but become the observer and actually ask those questions like, who is the one that is witnessing the thoughts, the feelings, the experiences? Like, that's actually me.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, I love that. And I agree so much with what you said about relationships being big teachers. I resonate with that huge. And so I'm happy to hear you've had such a long, healthy relationship. That's like all of your 20s essentially, which is, I think, one of the
Very
hardest.
unconventional. Very unconventional. Most people. Like I don't have a lot of experience in multiple different relationships, but we've had five different relationships within that relationship. So the relationship has ended and fractured and broken. We've never like broken up, but we've had really hard conversations
Mm-hmm.
many times, but like really big ones where it was at the point where it's like we may not be in relation in this way after this conversation. We don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
But then that relationship ends, and you can start a relationship with the same person, but it's a different relationship. I think that that is the secret right there to longer term relationships,
Mm-hmm.
where, yeah, like no, nobody's going to be perfect. That's one of the biggest things, like letting go of these projections and expectations that you have about somebody and their human experience and their journey not fitting into what your projection is.
Totally. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Like, five relationships within the one relationship. So true. Because if you think about, like, my experience has been probably more the opposite of that, where I've had many relationships, none of them have been great yet. I know it's coming, but
Oh, it's
but
coming.
it's been the learning about myself and like what's mine, what's theirs, the boundaries, all that stuff. Um, but within that, in myself, I've had so many deaths and rebirths. And I think
Yes.
like the ending of a relationship, it's its own entity, right? There's you, there's the other person, and then the relationship has its own being. And so
Yep.
for it to go through death and rebirth doesn't necessarily mean it's over. It's just
No.
an end and a beginning, which I think is really, really beautiful. And I feel like for someone that is as curious as yourself and wanting to go to such depths, it only makes sense that the relationship would have its own challenges and struggles and mirrors because you wouldn't be happy with a surface level
No.
relationship. Like you need someone that can like go into that with you and like go through those experiences with you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also noticed you said your birthday is in August. Can I ask which day?
26th.
Okay, I'm also going to be 34 in August, but my birthday is the 13th.
Are you a Leo or Virgo?
I'm a Leo.
Yeah, cool. Cool.
Yeah. Would you be a Virgo then?
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah. Yeah, but 33 is a big year. That's what they say, and I've been experiencing that. I don't know about you.
I love being 33. I love being in my 30s. I was so unsure of myself. I so talked the talk and I didn't walk the walk. Like I started my deep spiritual journey with plant medicines when I was about 28.
Hmm.
Of course. I mean, that's when a lot of people are like, what the fuck am I doing? I've
The,
had
the Saturn
27
return or whatever.
Saturn
Yeah.
returns. It's just like, who am I? Why am I? What am I? When am I? Like, they start bumping into themselves. The illusion of youth fades, and you're like, oh, like all this shit that I thought about what life would be, it's not really happening. There's a disconnect. Mine was around money. I had a very interesting relationship with money where I grew up with parents that had not much of it.
Hmm.
And I had a great childhood, amazing childhood, like so much love. My parents told me they loved me all the time. I've worked with people that have hundreds of millions of dollars and can't remember their father ever saying that they loved them,
Hmm.
which is why they made hundreds of millions of dollars when we get
Yeah.
to the root of it, because that's what their father valued. So they did what their father valued so they could receive love.
Hmm.
But for me, I grew up with this scarcity mentality around money. So my kind of awakening or the bumping into myself was when I started making a lot of money and the anxiety I was experiencing escalated. When what I was looking to feel safe. And if I thought I made enough money, that I would be worthy, I would be safe, I would be somebody that I could love. And then you make almost $40,000 in a month, which was that point where I got handed a 37, I think it was 37 or 39, I think it was $37,000 paycheck 4 years ago, probably now, four years ago. And I was like, I had this massive nervous system response. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I used to make that in a year.
Hmm.
And then, like, a few hours later, I was kind of like, what do I, like, what now? Like what do I make more? Like this thing like it's like if a greyhound caught the rabbit.
Hmm.
They're like, okay, I've got it. Like I've won. Why don't I feel like what do I do?
Totally.
And
Yeah.
around that time, my friend introduced me. He was like, "Hey man, there's a men's retreat happening. We're diving deep into doing inner work and psychedelics. And I've done psychedelics recreationally a lot." And I was like, "Sounds cool." Yeah, and I didn't realize that's what I needed, especially community with other men
Hmm.
where nobody's trying to peacock and be the alpha male. It's just a bunch of dudes taking off the armor and you see each other and they're struggling with certain things, you're struggling with certain things, and everybody's welcome.
Yes,
So, yeah,
I think men's only spaces are just as important as women's only spaces because there's just some things that you need to be able to have that, I guess, safe space to be vulnerable. There's
yeah,
certain I've had a couple sessions with men recently where we like Akashic Record sessions where we've gone into some of the stuff that comes up and it's not always safe to share those deeper emotions or those deeper feelings and I think having other men model that, I think that's also something that's missing a lot in this society just from generational
100%.
trauma is, men don't have a good role model who didn't have a good role model and then like read recently or I saw fairly recently about how men go out looking for that, right? So they idolize people and they
Yeah,
idolize and
that's what I did. Yep.
yeah, and it's just I mean I don't know if I ever idolized anyone as a woman, but I can see that playing out in different men around me like, oh, okay, that's kind of what they're doing because they're searching for that father figure or somebody to teach them or pass on tradition.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's why you have people like Andrew Tate that a lot of women look at. They're like, how could anybody listen to something like that? Totally understand that perspective around some of the things he said around women and very misogynistic. And he also talks to young men that feel lost and say, hey, go to the gym, try to work on yourself, try and make a lot of money, try and create your value there. And in a world where there's not many people really talking about it,
hmm
people that feel lost, what do they go towards? They go to somebody that appears that they're not lost. And
hmm
then maybe that person will make sense or help them feel not lost.
hmm
And a lot of what men idolize, they think success is financial. I think it's just one aspect of what makes somebody successful.
hmm
But if you are not holistically successful, like I've worked with men worth $100 million. I've coached them. They're emotionally bankrupt. They are
hmm
spiritually bankrupt, relationally bankrupt,
hmm
but they've got $100 million in multiple businesses and 12 Ferraris, and they only drive one of them. And they don't know why they have 12 Ferraris. Like, when you start getting to the root of it, every man that I've ever personally worked with that I've coached that has made a lot of money is very financially successful.
hmm
Every single one, non-existent or extremely unhealthy relationship with their father. All of them.
hmm
There's no
hmm
exceptions.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And so interesting, um, like what you're talking about with money, because I've been hearing this a lot lately in the spaces that I'm in, is like, yeah, people get a lot of money and then they don't know what to do with it, or they still feel empty. And then I'm like, I can't relate because I feel like I've learned through money the completely opposite way, where I never had enough money. I often had the opposite of enough money and was having to figure out ways to make ends meet and figure out ways to feel grateful and whole and full without money
Mhm.
and like find my emotions and find abundance in other areas. And then now I'm having this experience where I'm making more money. And so when you say things like $100 million, my brain's like think about all the things you could do with that. But then I totally also understand the emptiness where it's like, okay, I have to do this again and again for the rest of my life. And if that's all you're looking at, like that is quite bleak. But if you are unattached to the money and you're just
Mhm.
enjoying the life experience, like
Yep.
it really doesn't matter how much you have.
Mhm.
And
No.
something I've learned is like your needs are always met. So they might not be met in the way that you think they should be met or that you want them to be met, but they're always met. And so as long as
Yes.
you can come to like acceptance of that, then you can enjoy life with like regardless of the bank account, but it certainly makes it a lot nicer when there is stuff in there and it's a lot easier on the nervous system in that
Yeah.
way.
Yep.
So I think that's super interesting. And I think, yeah, it's just an interesting problem because I also see this repositioning of wealth happening in the collective where good people are starting to accumulate more wealth. And then I think about someone like myself where I'm like, I think of $100 million and I'm like, wow, what you could do with that. And I think if more people who had that emotional depth and understanding had access to money, like, whoa, things could really change.
Yeah. That's why is that coming up on my computer? Sorry about that.
That's
My work somehow calling me. Cool. One thing I wanted to share there, you touched upon, is how a lot of people have tied money to morality.
hmm
So a lot of people, due to, I would call it Disney conditioning, we've grown up that, okay, so here's an example. I want you to finish these quotes that I'm going to share about money and just money doesn't make you,
happy,
okay? Money is the root of all.
evil,
The rich get richer and the poor get.
poorer. I know these beliefs, but I don't believe them, but I
I
know
know
them.
I'm just trying, save for a rainy.
Save for a rainy day.
Yeah, like all these like very scarce morality tied things around money where we all know them and we've heard them ever since we were young.
hmm
We've heard them ever since we were very young about money. Money's the root of all evil. Money doesn't make you happy. all these things, it's like, well, why would your nervous system simultaneously like, well, okay, mom, dad, society, but why, if I look at your values and we can assess somebody's values by where they spend their time and what they do, not what they say,
Mm-hmm.
it appears that you value money more than most other things,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially if you don't understand the complexities of adult life when you're a child, because kids spell love Time.
Yes.
So if
So
your
true.
mum and dad are like, hey, you know what, money's not everything, blah, 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 and they are seeking connection through time, and then the mum and dad are maybe working a lot, then what does that show through action? It shows that there's a discrepancy, there's a disconnection between what somebody is saying and what they are doing and what their priorities look like.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as an adult, you have children, you're like, I love my children deeply and I have to go make money so I can feed them. However, the conditioning that that does to most people compared to like some of these people I've worked with that did grow up with a lot of money. I just had conversations like, yeah, I contacted my buddy and like we're setting up like a gummy business, like a CBD gummy business, and like yeah, we built everything out in 3 months. We'll probably do like $1 million. I'm like their brains, they don't see it the same way. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? Like what? You went from in 3 months, you're able to build something with your brain and the way you view reality that's producing like 80 to 90,000 a month because of people you know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on? Like what are you talking about? It's so against the way that I see it and the way that I've seen it in the past that it kind of breaks my brain hearing people say that. That it's just interesting being around them because the people that make the most money in the world don't value money.
Yeah. True. I think it's good to be around people like that sometimes. Like that's I watch reality TV and so I love the Housewives of Beverly Hills because like they're it's just so I love like I don't know I just find it so fascinating because
Is it
it's
like
like
people watching? Are you like people watching
pretty
for
much.
the
Oh,
okay.
I people
Yeah,
watch
okay.
reality TV it's like my favorite. I think I think of social media like a reality TV show too. Like I just it is people watching. That's totally what it is.
Oh, for
But
sure. There's some nutty people out there where you're like,
yeah, yeah, but
holy
like people with
shit.
money who have lots of it that don't like, it's just the way they don't value it. I think that's so interesting. I'm going to think about that more later, like the value that we place on money. And yeah, I've worked with really wealthy people before too, and it's just they do operate so differently with money. And I think what you said about someone having their brain basically wired differently to be able to create something like that in 3 months versus somebody that's born into that scarcity consciousness, like it's interesting how malleable reality is based on your beliefs.
Yeah, it's based on your programming, cultural programming, religious programming, family programming. What does it mean to be a man, a woman?
Hmm.
What does it
Hmm.
mean to grow up in Canada, Australia, America, China? These are all conditions and programmings. And then there's family programming. Then
Hmm.
there's religious programming. And it all impacts the lens in which you look at reality through. And it creates a sanctuary of perspective and sometimes a prison of perspective and a mixture of both. And yeah, everything is actually a gift. I've been really thinking about this lately around suffering and trauma and all the things we talk about. And very simply, I can say your suffering is a gift. And how I
Hmm.
can quantify that is the reason why you care about something is because you know the opposite.
Hmm.
So if you remove the opposite, the things that you find valuable and meaningful and fulfilling then also become obsolete. They dissolve. So
Hmm.
because everything's a polarity. So if you
Hmm.
didn't go through that horrific thing as a child, for example, let's talk about sexual abuse.
Hmm.
If you didn't know that horrific within your nervous system, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that your experience is not real. It's horrifically real. It's horror. I've worked with people that have been through that. And yet the reason why you care about raising children and a safe marriage and women and safety is because you know the opposite of that. And if you removed it, which a lot of people are like, oh, I wish that never happened. It's like if that never happened, then you wouldn't care about the things that you do. So
Hmm.
it's a beautiful gift wrapped in pain
Hmm.
that You have to somatically feel your way and work your way through, and you can't talk your way through it and think your way through it. You have to feel your way through it because the conscious mind processes about 20 to 40 bits of information per second.
Mm-hmm.
The subconscious mind, connected to the autonomic nervous system, is 500,000 to a million bits of information per second. So just talking and thinking is actually scientifically a complete fucking waste of time,
Mm-hmm.
which is why a lot of people have a hard time with therapy. If they just talk, they get really good at intellectualizing their experiences, which
Mm-hmm.
is helpful to understand how all the pieces came together and how your mum did this and they did their best and blah, 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 blah. And if you don't feel what your body does when you say those words, when the tight chest happens, when the lump in your throat, obviously tied to the chakra system, it's all different keyholes looking at the same thing. And then
Totally.
you link them together like what you do, like what I do. You give people different perspectives or different keyholes that are meaningful to them to look at whatever you would call transcendence, God, a higher power, and
Mm-hmm.
then help them hopefully come to the place where they really actually experience what Rumi said, which is, you are not a drop in the ocean, you're the entire ocean in a drop.
Mm-hmm.
If you can actually feel that, there's no disconnection, there's nothing wrong with you. Every religion says it. Every single fucking one says you are made in the image, or you are connected, or you are a mirror or the essence of the creator. They all
Mm-hmm.
say it. Every single one. So how can you simultaneously be broken and made in the image of the creator? You
I
can't.
I totally mic drop. I hear you on all that. It's you so eloquently spoken, but so true. And I think like a lot of what we've been talking about already is like such deep root chakra work in my language, but it's a lot of stuff that people don't have access to because their root chakra is so blocked. And I know like you use different language. Well, not even really. It's pretty much the same language as me. I have a few different words, but it means the same thing. Where when we're going back and we're healing that deep conditioning and programming that people don't even realize they're operating under. And then on top of that is like what you've been through this life that you remember you've experienced, or maybe you don't remember, but your body remembers.
Yeah.
And a lot of like the embodiment practices or the feminine energy healing practices that I work through with people is exactly that. It's bypassing the thinking brain, the thinking mind and moving into the feeling, but so many people have no idea how to feel their emotions.
I have
Like
no
they
idea.
actually
It's
don't know how
crazy.
to feel.
I know. Somebody asked me, what do you do? I'm like, I kind of teach people how to feel, which is
Yes.
literally, if I surmised it, like one gentleman I worked with, worth $80 million financially, spent his entire life creating wealth. He's in his mid 50s. And then his experience of depression hit him. He had a depressive experience over the 2 years. And because he'd never dealt with anything, the reason why he was able to build the businesses he was is because he basically shut off his emotions for 30 years. So he could see
Hmm.
things hyperlogically, which in that world, if you hire your friend and they're not really working out, but you love your friend, can you be like, hey, this is not good for this business, I'm going to fire them?
Hmm.
Or is there's this deep feeling, it's like, oh, but they're my friend and blah, blah, blah. Most people can't make that distinction, so their businesses don't, and it's the human condition.
Yeah.
However, we got to a point where he was like, we got him off stomach medication. He was on stomach medication for like a decade and for digestion.
Hmm.
And he was like, oh, I confuse sadness with hunger. I was like, yeah. When we talk about the thing that happened when, like multiple things that happened when you were a child around your father and all kinds of different things, what does your stomach do? He's like, I feel nauseous. I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's emotion. That's your emotion that's triggered within your nervous system activating because here's the thing I've learned about the body can't lie.
Hmm.
It won't lie.
Nope.
It does not lie. In fact, a lot of people treat mental health in the wrong way. I think they have it backwards, that
Hmm.
the mind is actually the echo of the body.
Hmm.
And if you've got anxious thoughts and crazy thoughts, you can't focus on anything. if you go into because everything is operates in the universe law of cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
If we're treating the effect all the time, like SSRIs, antidepressants, they work. They have a place. If you don't want to be here anymore and you want to do it tomorrow, let's numb you out a little bit. So until we have some other thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, if we don't go upstream and find out why this part of the river, which is your current experience, has all this trash in it, for example, or it has this thick black layer, and let's follow upstream where that came from, then that's what the body is. That's why how the subconscious, the facts around science, around how things are processed, it's all connected within the body. But the disconnection from our body starts from a very young age. One of my good friends, Jeff, who's a parent, was sharing this with me. He's like, dude, I've noticed as a parent since they were quite young, like just noticing things like you don't leave the dinner table until you've finished your dinner. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm full. I don't give a crap. Basically, don't listen to your body.
Mm-hmm.
So the disconnection starts then. Another example he gave me was, hey, make sure you pee before you go to bed because I don't want you to pee the bed.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need to pee. I don't care. Please pee. Hey, but like catching himself and him sharing that with me, I was like, what a beautiful, interesting thing about how parents, because they want a good night's sleep and they want their kids to eat food,
Mm-hmm.
can unconsciously create a disconnection from a very young age between somebody's mind and their body. And most people, from what I've found, they see their body as like this thing that's against them.
Mm-hmm.
I see it doesn't lie. If your knee is sore, it's because structurally something is occurring that is not aligning, so your knee is creating a pain for you as a message.
Mm-hmm.
So is the
And
anxiety, so
and
is the
even
depression,
even deeper with like usually once something manifests physically, it's already been an energetic block for quite some time before it has to
emotionally.
manifest physically. Yeah. And
Oh
so
yeah.
and like even you mentioning those like yeah, like finish your supper, like I'm like, yep, I did that. And like my mom was always like, pee before you go ever, and I pee like 40 times a day. I'm like, huh, okay, this is good. Because I've thought about that before also, but I've never like really dove it into it. I've kind of just let it be what it is. But with where I've done a lot of the work with that is with the emotional component because like emotions were like don't cause a fuss, don't cry. If you're crying, you're gonna have to go to the room. Like that was where a lot of my disconnect came from was from the emotional aspect more, I guess, loudly than the body, although obviously they're connected. But that was a lot of the work that I had to do was like reconnecting with the emotions and then learning how to feel them and knowing that they're okay and like the spectrum of them is okay. I think that's another thing that people really struggle with is like good and bad emotions when really it's
This doesn't
all just
exist.
emotion. There's no such thing as good
There's
or
no
bad.
such good or
There's
bad. There's
uncomfortable, but like
yes.
even the good ones can feel uncomfortable if you're not used to feeling the good ones. So I
Yeah.
think yeah, it's so important. And I love that you're saying the body doesn't lie because like what I teach is like your body is your connection to your intuition. And it is, and that's exactly the sentiment. It doesn't lie, like for what's true for you, which is going to be what's your highest good and your best. And I love that you, as a majority men's coach, I'm sure I know you work with women as well, but you're a man.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
then there's me, who majority works with women. It's like it doesn't matter what your gender is; it's the same. And
It's the
so,
same. Your soul doesn't have a gender.
no, and that's something I think is so elevated about our, or is becoming more elevated about relationship as well. And what I call sacred union is it's not about necessarily a man and a woman coming together to be whole. It's like two wholes who are balanced in their own masculine and feminine, who have their own individual balance, which then matches up with someone else who complements that balance. But it really I'm loving recently having so many more conversations with men who are so focused on integrating their feminine because I think that's just something that's been not explored a lot for as long back as we go. Like I don't
Well,
think that's
we
something.
could have a big conversation about that around I used to believe that men were stronger and better than women, not super consciously, but it came from things like when you're 12, right? It's different when you're 8. But at around 10, 11, 12, you have older men being like, you let a girl beat you? Oh, like when you're 8, it's like whatever. But when you start hitting puberty, if a girl beats you at something physical, you are shamed by older men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're shamed. And what that does is like, oh, well, I can't let a girl beat me. And then it goes outside of physical things. It's like, well, women can't be better than me at making money, at this, at that, because then I feel this shame, which was projected upon me from unhealed, wounded men that had a shame around their own feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
I've had many psychedelic experiences around that where, like, I saw this one psychedelic experience which was beautiful where there was this man, um, like, it was a man, like, beating a woman. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw, like, inside of this man, there was a little boy beating up a little girl, and it was flowing out of his, like, into his hands, and he was physically doing that, enacting that feeling, which was the war within himself
Mm-hmm.
onto the external woman.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dang, like it was such a powerful lesson of like how a lot of people do that. My mum said something to me once because she's very connected. I'm so grateful for the mother and the father that I have. She said most men are looking for a damsel in distress but don't realize it's inside of them.
Haha,
I was like,
yes.
damn, like all that mythology, all those stories about saving the damsel in distress in the high tower or the castle, that's a story of your own soul. Most
Oh,
mythology
so
is.
good. I
Yeah.
love that.
I was like,
Wow.
whoa, well, it's so true.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's so funny you say that because I often refer to my masculine, my feminine, like I'll say he, I'm talking about myself,
Yeah.
or she within myself. And
Yep.
something that really changed for me in the last couple months, because my masculine energy is very much like wants to push, wants to get done, wants to provide for my feminine. And I started like speaking to him how I would speak to like an external partner if I had one. And I started like having a different dialogue within myself between the energies.
Hmm.
And I just think that's so like the rescuing the damsel in distress. It's like kind of similar to that experience in yeah, rescuing the damsel in distress within yourself. And yeah, I really love that.
A lot of men
That's so
have that.
good.
There is a damsel deeply in distress,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it will show in your life as an externalization of your projections, how much pornography you watch, your objectification, your hurt towards the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all. What if life was like a soul spiritual game where you keep bumping into things in this video game to show you where you're not free? That's what Peter Crone says, that life will present you with people and circumstances to show you where you're not free.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, relationships level 7, codependency, repeat the level. It's like, fuck, man.
I've been having this conversation with a couple of people recently too about it being like a video game. And that's how when I did my solo podcast episode and I asked myself that first question of who are you beyond the labels, I had to really think about it. And I was like, well, really, I feel like Earth is a game. And like, I want to win the game. Like, I want to get really good at doing the Earth things and figuring out the energies and figuring out how it all works so that I can yeah, I guess beat the game, beat the what is it, the Bowser at the end or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, like beat the final boss. And the thing is,
Yeah.
I think that the game is to experience as much as you can. I think that that's the game is to feel as much as possible. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
got to a point where I can watch a sunrise and I'll feel so much joy that I cry.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, that's I
Like,
get tripped
what
out.
do
I
you
get tripped
mean?"
out by that all the time. And like also like people having babies. Like I think that is so weird how we treat that. Like I'm like you're growing a human in your body and then it has a soul and then you create it. Like wow, it's so weird to me
Fucking crazy.
how like unspiritual this like like society makes some of these stuff. Like I'm like, even the sun setting every day, I'm like, you realize we're seeing a ball of fire? Like what?
Millions of kilometers away. Yeah, like I saw this really interesting Instagram reel, like it's probably 6 to 12 months ago. It was a guy reporting of a conversation he had with AI. I think he was talking to ChatGPT, and he asked a very interesting question, which was like, if I died, what would be the most important question I could ask myself if I could ask myself a question after I died?
Hmm.
And it's responded, it said the question would be, did you see it? And he's like, what do you mean, did I see it? It's like, did you see what you were a part of? Did you see the beauty? Did you see it? I was like, damn. And that's such
Yeah.
a powerful, powerful perspective. It's like, did you see the light on the trees? Did you see and feel what the rain felt like on your skin? Did you smell all the smells, listen to all the things? Did you make love and have beautiful sex with people? Like, did you see it? Did you notice it? Or were you so like what the Dalai Lama says about man? He says man will like um give up his health to make money and then spend all his money to recuperate his health. And they're so worried about the future, so anxious about the future, or so depressed about the past that they're never really in the present. So they never actually fully lived because they weren't here.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't actually here in the now. There is no past or future. There's literally only now.
Yep.
Because when the future gets here, it'll be the now, so there is no future.
And
Like,
so many people, that's like why I do what I do, a big part of it, because it's just like so many people don't even know what they're missing because they've never experienced it. And
yeah.
like I know for myself, like there was a time when I was like addicted to substances, depressed, all the stuff, and I didn't want to be here. Like, why would
Yep.
you ever want to be here? Like, this place sucks. And it's
Hmm.
like now it's the opposite where I'm like, this is amazing, but when you have all this junk in you and all this trauma and everything else, like you don't even get to experience how amazing it is or like feel pleasure or feel joy. Like so many women I work with, they get partway into the program and they're like, this program has made me realize I've never felt joy in my life until now. Like
It's the
only
hardest
now can
emotion to
I.
feel. It's the hardest emotion to feel.
Yeah. It's just crazy that once you feel it, you're like, whoa, this is amazing. But you can't even really express to someone the benefit they're going to get because they've never felt it. So they don't have anything to even compare it to. It's like use your imagination to imagine what joy would be like because you're going to get to feel it. But,
Yep.
you know, and like, I don't know if you have this struggle. Well, you do. I know maybe a little bit, but with like trying to like express the power of your work to people to get them, you know, interested in buying because it's just like it's not really something I can fully describe to you because you have to feel it.
I would say to that every human being has a deep innate wisdom, and nobody knows what your best interests are, and
Hmm.
all I do is I don't solve problems, I dissolve them. There is no problem.
Hmm.
There
Hmm.
actually isn't a problem. There's a perspective you have around your problem which is causing you pain. And yet, if going back to what I said before, is the reason you care about things so deeply is because you know the opposite.
Hmm.
So there's gifts in everything that you've experienced, including the most horrific things you can think of.
Hmm. And I feel like you and I can fully agree with that and feel that because we have done the somatic work and the embodiment practices to know that. And I think
Yes.
that's where the power comes into it because trying to logically explain that to someone who's still holding on to anger and fear and whatever, they're like, that makes no sense to me. Like, how can I forgive? That's a question that's come up a lot within my community lately. And I today I went on a tangent. I was like, well, it starts with self-love and it just kind of all spluttered out of me.
Mhm.
But when I do deep healing sessions with people, essentially I can like see their soul's blueprint of like who they really are, and I bring the stuff from the past or potential blocks from the future like into the present to that realization of it's all perfect and it all happened
Mhm.
as it was supposed to and nothing
Yep.
was ever wrong, you know,
No.
and I think yeah, it's just you have to go through that tunnel of feeling the thing in order to actually embody that belief and live that way.
Yeah, how you level up in the spiritual video game is the things that feel like stop signs are compasses in disguise as stop signs.
I
Like
love
your
it.
body,
Yes.
everything, like people like somebody might listening to this be like, I understand intellectually what you're saying, but like, what does that mean? It means when you feel really anxious or really depressed or you can't get out of bed, that those feelings, they are the therapy. It
Mm-hmm.
is your body's therapy trying to balance something out.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard something, a friend of mine just explain this. He's like, if somebody is depressed, it means that they're having some kind of nervous system thing. Usually there's layers to it, of course, where the body's shut down. And there's also a fantasy, which is the other side of that, is like, this is how my life should have been if my father didn't beat me, or if that man didn't do this thing to me. And I could have been so much happier, I could have been this. And the balancing of that is the depression.
Mm-hmm.
So the depression is, it's like, but that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
The past is the past. It couldn't have happened any other way because it did not. And you
Mm-hmm.
cannot change that. And it's impossible to change it. And the more you exist and wish, you are trying to go against objective reality.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're going to have some kind of swing within your own nervous system because you're fighting what is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wish it wasn't that way. Okay, but it was.
Yes.
But
That's a
but
hard
but I
thing.
wish it's like if there's no buts, there can't be any buts. And but when people have these experiences, they can get it's such hard work because there's so much pain, there's so much stuff within the body.
Mm-hmm.
Here's like I learned that psychedelics told me is I don't have to know why I'm feeling something.
Mm-hmm.
Most people negotiate, they don't understand they're doing this. They're like their mind is like, hey, subconscious nervous system, somatic, whatever, chakra, whatever. You tell me what this pain is, and then I'll let you know if I want to feel you. And the body's like, no, no, I'm just gonna make you feel like you're gonna vomit and like give you really horrific lower back pain because you never felt safe in your entire life. And I'm gonna manifest it through the root chakra, and you're gonna do everything. Acupuncture, stretch, fucking everything, and it's not gonna go away, and you're gonna be angry and bitter. But I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm just gonna keep being painful. And you're
It's
like, and
so
then the
true.
mind is like, but I don't, I have to know what it is first. It's like, no, you don't.
You'll
Like
know
with
what
those
it is as
men,
you go into it. Like that
yes,
it doesn't ever come before, it always comes after, for me
you can't
anyway.
get the wisdom first.
Yeah.
Hey, give
Yeah.
me the wisdom, and then I'll let you know if I want to do the test that gave me the wisdom. It's like, sorry, doesn't fucking work that way.
No,
Like you
it's
have to
so
go
true.
through the shit. You have to go through the contraction before you get the expansion.
Yes. And also so much of the stuff in those lower chakras that we're feeling isn't even ours. You
Hmm.
know, like there's been moments when I've been in my healing journey, like, well, and this kind of ties back into what we were talking about a bit earlier, and I had a mental note, and this brings it back nicely. But um, I was at a jujitsu match one time. Like I was watching, it was a one versus one, like like UFC without the punching kind of
Yeah,
style
yeah,
match.
yeah, yeah,
And there was a quintet, so five versus five.
yeah.
And there's a little guy versus a big guy. And whatever happened, somehow this big real fight kind of erupted. And the main person of the event, like I just saw this like pure rage come over him, and he like beat the crap out of this one guy. And in my body I had a huge reaction to men that train and are trained in martial arts not having control over their emotions and having an outburst like that. And it was like ancient. Like it didn't feel like me. It felt way deeper than what the experience was actually providing. But I had to like go and like physically get out all this rage that I felt, which was like, it felt like deep feminine rage of like, you realize how much trust I am putting in you, rolling with you as a man who, yes, is bigger and stronger than me. Like every time we roll, and you don't have control over this, and you're trained to be able to murder someone basically. And it was like this huge body reaction. And if I had been still in my logical mind, I would have probably been like, this makes no sense. I'm overreacting. This is stupid. Like, why
I
are
call
you
it the
feeling?
logical gaslighting.
Yeah,
You gaslight
right?
yourself with logic. Yeah.
But because I was aware of what I was moving through on a deeper level, I was like, no, no, this isn't even mine. Like I'm
No.
I'm letting something deep go here and just gotta ride it out. This doesn't make any logical sense why I'm so mad. But it was some I've had to learn a lot of interesting lessons about myself and the masculine through jujitsu.
Oh, it's very powerful. It's the closest way you'll intimately get close to another man or woman in a non-sexual way ever.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what people don't understand about violence. Violence is a form of intimacy.
Yeah. Okay. Explain.
The reason why it's a form of intimacy, it's, for example, like I've done jujitsu competitions where we are trying to get the other person to submit, and if they don't, we are willing to break their arms and legs or put them to sleep. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what the agreement is like within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part of me, and every person has this part of me, and if you deny this part of you, you will suffer.
Mm-hmm.
It's the part of you that can kill. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are like, well, I couldn't kill anybody. I could, 100%. If somebody threatened somebody I loved, or there was a decision where I had to choose to kill somebody, of course I would have to. Of course, it wouldn't be pleasant, it'd be horrific. However, I have a part of me that I have an agreement. I could call it the monster or the darkness or whatever you want to call it. And it's usually tied to anger and rage. And if people don't have a relationship with it, they become very nice. And any person that's very nice is actually very scared. People
Mm-hmm.
that are nice all the time scare me more than the person that's like maybe a bit like aggressive or something like that. They're just sad. Like angry people are sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anger is a defensive emotion to protect you. But people that
Yes.
are nice all the time, they don't have a relationship with their anger. Therefore,
Mm-hmm.
they cannot be authentic. Therefore, they cannot be powerful because they're
Mm-hmm.
not. Anger is tied to power. So I have a part of me, I call it the monster or the beast or whatever, that the only time I let that out ever is in competition where it's like, hey, you can break this person's legs and that's okay. And you don't have to feel bad because the very agreement is he is going to try to do the same thing for you. And this is not a place for people pleasing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, that doesn't mean you rip like it doesn't mean you have somebody's arm and you try to rip it out of their socket. That's insane. It means that if you have something and now you have a choice of this person's not tapping and they're
Yeah.
choosing not to tap, well, am I going to choose to give this up and then they are potentially going to beat me and I lose? Or am I going to slowly lean back on this and if it snaps, it snaps? It's
Mm-hmm.
a hard psychological place to be in. And for a long time, I had a really hard time with it. And I actually lost matches because I was like, oh, my own compassion. And I'm like, but he would not do the same thing for you. He'd break your leg.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you trying to be this person for somebody else when there's not the same thing is there. It was my own fear. I didn't want to hurt people, etc., etc. But we all have that part of us. Like mothers, when somebody threatens their child, it's like, I'll kill you. Like, I'm not going to have remorse. That's why there's studies that women can kill easier than a man,
Interesting.
psychologically. Yeah.
That's because I was just having this kind of a conversation with someone the other day. I was every so often my brain will like think about if so because there's always those posts about dogs going missing, people stealing dogs, and like for me right now, my dog and my cat are like my everything. And I'm
Yeah.
like, if someone was to try to steal my dog, I would grab my rifle and I would shoot them and I wouldn't care. Like I was like, and I literally like think about that sometimes. I'm like, I would like that is the only instance I can think of in my life right now where that would apply. And so you explaining it like that makes me think because I'm like, okay, I have that monster in me as you said, but yeah, and it's I think it's so important for people to have a relationship with those parts of themselves. And it is like there's a quote, I can't think of it right now, but it's something along the lines of like the most powerful people are the people who could hurt you and don't, like it's like they have that in them, but they know how
Yeah,
to.
they don't. It's like here's the thing, a lot of men don't do that. They're not actually dangerous, so they have to portray that they are dangerous
Hmm. Hmm.
through fake bravado, through like it even comes down to status and being like, hey, look at the clothes I wear, look at the money I have, I'm better, I'm important, I'm worthy. And yet, if you actually are dangerous physically, which is what martial arts allow you to feel, is I feel more safe within my own body
Mm,
than I ever have.
mhm,
Because objectively, in under 2 minutes, I have skills that I could kill most people with my bare hands because of skills.
mhm.
That might be like, oh, that's a crazy thing to say. It's just the truth. It's like, for some reason, men and fighting is the only thing that men think they can do with no training and win at. Like, imagine if we took the analogy, for example, I've had people ask me, they're like, oh, do you think you could beat me? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, if you hit me at the right place, I could, like, you could totally beat me, 100%. But have you got any training? They're like, no. And I'm like, well, more than likely, I would probably win because I'm trained and you're not.
And they're
Imagine if
like,
you,
I just see red
yeah,
though.
yeah, bro, like, you don't get it, dude. Like, there's a chance. Here's the thing, any person can beat anybody.
Yeah.
If you hit them in the right place at the right time, of course, yes. But imagine if we took that mentality and like go up to a basketball guy. I'm like, dude, do you think you could beat me in one-on-one? He'd be like, do you play basketball? No. No, I don't play basketball, but like, dude, like when I get pissed enough, dude, I'm sinking threes, I'm dunking, dude, like I'm dribbling like this, like I'm pretty good on the court, dude. So like, yeah, but you don't play. No, but like it's the mentality, dude. You're like,
Yeah. Oh
okay.
man. That's why I think people with like egos don't last in jujitsu because it's like, yeah, the tiniest guy could beat you. And I have had that like what we were talking about earlier with the whole men thinking they shouldn't lose to a woman. Like I have to be picky with my training partners because like if I am going against the wrong one and I get something on them because I at this point am fairly skilled with jujitsu. I'm not
Yeah,
the strongest in the room, but I'm
yeah,
pretty technical.
yeah,
And so I get things on people now. And so I prefer to roll with the older men or the upper belts, people who like have been in the environment and have control over their aggression,
yeah.
because the lower belts, if you get something, then they start ripping stuff on you or just
They
being
want to get you back. It's
yeah, they're
going
like,
back
you
to
can't
that
get me, you're a girl. It's like,
exactly, which is again the damsel in distress, the rejection of the feminine. It's like I've had many women tap me, and I'm like, you fucking got me good. I'm not going to even deny that I wasn't. Oh, you got me because I let you.
yeah,
Sometimes I let
I
them
get that.
because. Like I rolled with a woman today. I train with her all the time. She's awesome. I don't go the same. I match her energy. I'm not going
Yeah,
to like go the same way with a 130-pound woman that I am going to go with somebody who's 210-pound man. That would be crazy. That would be weird. I'm going to like match the energy and the speed and the strength because I want them to feel safe. If I
yeah,
just like side control, just like smash it, like that's like, oh, good one, dude. You beat somebody that's biologically not as strong as you, and like you feel, are you happy about that? Like, good for you, bro, you
I
weirdo.
know it's so weird. I have
Yeah.
really great training partners in the morning. Like I go to the morning classes specifically for that reason because it's older, more experienced, and they
Yeah,
have
the guys working with families and
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
They
yeah.
they they just see things differently and they're great training partners, but all men, all bigger than me. Um, but yeah, it's I think it has taught me a lot about being safe with the masculine at the same time because like I in my own journey of understanding masculine and feminine energy, I've had to discover what real masculine energy is as men do, I suppose, but for me it was originally in pursuit of a partner, but then also within myself. But it was really enlightening to be safe around men who could technically hurt you if they wanted and they're choosing to respect you and I think jujitsu in itself is a spiritual journey. Like I
Oh,
think
big
that
time, big time.
the ego and the you know you're good one day and then you're back at the beginning and it's a whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a powerful way to create connection and intimacy with other people, especially from men and women in a non-sexual way, and show me where that exists anywhere outside of jiu-jitsu or martial arts. And jiu-jitsu especially because there's no striking.
Mm-hmm.
when I've sparred women before, like punching,
Mm-hmm.
there's something psychologically that happens within you when you get smacked in the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something that it's like it's a lot more of a violent, sharp
Mm-hmm.
experience
Mm-hmm.
than jujitsu where it's grappling. There's no kinetic force. It's more of a you're holding, embracing, and there's no striking.
Mm-hmm.
I've had women punch me in the face and I feel it, and I feel this thing where I want to punch them back because I just want to defend myself.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, no. And that takes a while to get used to, but jujitsu from the very beginning, like a very beginner, a woman can go in, or a man that is maybe very small or very overweight or doesn't have any confidence, and they can be in an environment that like cultivates that and nurtures that if
Mm-hmm.
you have the right gym. That's an
Mm-hmm.
important thing.
Totally.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of things in the jiu-jitsu world where we're seeing really high profile people, men, abusing their power with teenage girls. It's gross.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
the darkness is coming out everywhere. I think we're in the
oh, big
shadow.
time.
We're in the dark night of the soul of the planet right now.
Yeah, it's darkest before the dawn and it's fucking
Yes.
dark. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but yeah, it's such that whole culture itself is something I feel like there's it's cool to talk to another more spiritual person about it because sometimes I go on my little spiritual tangents and like those guys are the most down to earth non-spiritual humans. Love them to death, but they're I don't talk. I'm like it's a spiritual experience. They're like, all right, Jillian, like whatever you say. Yeah, but yeah, it's great. I love it. It was so good for me to explore, especially as someone who was a master in my own field. To be a beginner at something again was
So important.
really important. Yeah, it was amazing. But yeah. Well, I think we'll get close to wrapping it up. I do want to ask you a few more questions. Just
Oh.
kind of maybe switching up, maybe not. We'll see what comes out of your mouth. But what is the wildest or most profound spiritual moment that you've ever had?
Um, Probably on this bed behind. I've had many. I had a journey a year ago when I quit my job. Around this time, I quit my job in April 14th. I left selling cars and I worked for Bing True full time. I work in sales there. And what I do is I talk to people that want to become psychedelic integration coaches and they share with me the question you just asked. They naturally share that because that's why they're there.
Hmm.
Powerful, powerful things. But I was having a hard time. I felt like I was still feeling fight or flight all the time. I was like, I'm going to take some mushrooms, not much, because Lexi and I were planning to do an experience together. I wanted to test these mushrooms that I had to see how strong they were. They were
Hmm.
extremely strong. I only had a gram, like a gram and a half. And we went out and I was like, I think I need to go home. I felt like, I was like, oh, it'll be a microdose. It wasn't a microdose. It's like all those memes. Not a microdose. And then I hit the peak of it on the way home, and then it started coming down from it. And I was looking up, I had this deep feeling within me that's like there's more here. Like go lie down on the bed, put your eye mask on, put some music on, and like there's something here for you. But I felt like I was losing, I was like coming down from it. It wasn't as potent. And I started looking it up, like how I could activate it. And it said marijuana, and I've never mixed marijuana with psilocybin. I've had a very interesting relationship with marijuana. I believe it's one of the most powerful plant medicines in the world, but most people play in the shadows with it,
Mm.
which is a foreshadowing of what my experience was. So I went downstairs. I had a joint in the car that I was smoking like intermittently every now and then. I had a little hit of it and I was smoking it. And then there was this voice that's like, okay, stop now. Like, don't have any more. Go upstairs, put your eye mask on and buckle up. I was like, cool. And it really activated again. It was crazy how much it activated. Like they merged together these two energies. It was fucking wild. And I was going down, I have these experiences where it's like a journey down like a lazy river. That's how it kind of feels within my own consciousness. And then I'm in this like feeling, and I see this beautiful green hill with all these people wearing white, like walking up the hill. And I was like, what's that? And it's like, I don't worry about that. I have a very cool relationship with psilocybin. It's like my friend. Every time I spend time with it, it's like hanging out with a friend.
Yeah.
A very wise friend that is going to challenge me and it's going to be really hard, but it's still my friend. And it was like, no, like we'll do that next time. I was like, no, what's that? And I had this thing, especially with like deep spiritual experiences, which I could have shared this one, like when I asked, do I have a soul? It asked me 3 times if I'm sure that I want to go to this thing that I just asked. So I was like, no, what's that? And I was like, I want to go see that. It's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. It's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. And it's like, okay. And I asked one more time. Are you sure? I'm like, yes. And it kind of went back up this thing and I'm this grassy green hill. And it's like, this is death. Like, this is death. They're dying. That's death. They're going towards death. I'm like, oh, okay. Seems pretty cool. Like, cool. It's like, are you ready to die? I was like, okay. It's like, cool. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Question number one. Are you willing to go to a place where they're not there? And when it said they're not there, every person I know, my mom, my dad, Lexi, all my cats, every person I love, all of them, are you willing to go to a place they're not coming? If you're leaving them, say goodbye. I was like, whoa, like so much grief, like an immense amount of grief, like so much. I started feeling I was crying, and it felt like I said yes, and it felt like a bow on a drawstring, on a like an arrow on a drawstring. It like pulled me back like about halfway, and I felt this massive release of energy, and I was crying, and there was lots of grief because I was picturing every person I ever met. It's like you're never going to see them again, and actually feeling that you'll never see them again. You're going somewhere they're not coming. They're gone. I was like, fuck, this is really hard. And I said yes. And the next question was, and the whatever you want to call it, phrased it. It's like, this is the hardest question to answer, and this is going to be the hardest one for you. Are you willing to go to a place where you're not there? And it showed me being born, it showed my entire childhood. And even as I say it, I feel this emotion, even talking about it. Like all my experiences, like me running around like the joyous kid, like this kid.
Aw.
Like it's like all of that up to me being currently 32 at the time. And it's like, are you willing to go to a place where he's not there? Aaron's not coming. He's gonna die. Like he's gone. I was like, fuck. I sat with it, I was crying, and I said yes. And then it like the next part of it drew me back and let go. And I was like hurtling through this like portal of this white light. And I hit like the same kind of feeling as if you've ever been really deep underwater and you hit the surface and you're like you feel like you're gonna drown and I hit the surface and it was like I realized I was a baby crying. I was crying and it was very warped. It felt like my entire senses were in like aloe vera gel. Like in my
Okay.
ears, in my eyes, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I heard this doctor's like, congratulations, it's a beautiful baby boy. And I had this sickening feeling. I was like, fuck, not again. Like this sickening, like disgusting drop in my stomach, like, fuck, not again. I'm back here. You fucking kidding me? And as soon as I felt that, I got ripped out of that body and I was standing along this like plank looking at this giant dome, the same way a dome would look on Mars if we moved to Mars, like those giant domes of the future where people live on planets and whatever. I was standing on this like walkway looking at this dome, and there was all these like firefly looking things hitting the dome and then bouncing back down, hundreds of them. And this thing put its arm around me and was like, you were stuck there for a long time. I was like, what? Like what is, and I looked up and there's thousands of domes everywhere and there's all these lights bouncing off them. And I was like, what is this? And it's like, that's what happens to some souls when they die. They just go back and repeat the same thing over and over again because they haven't learnt yet.
Uh-huh.
And you were stuck there for a long time. Good job. You quit that job that you felt so afraid of quitting to do something you found deeply meaningful to you, and it's more than what you think it is.
Oh.
It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, then it's like, walk with me. Now, one of the things that shared with me, which is the most profound thing, is I've always not liked the word healing. I can't stand it. Like, there's something about it that irks me when people are like, I'm on my healing journey. You hear it all the time. And this being, we call it I don't know. Was it God? Was it my higher self? It was all of it in one. It was the ocean embodied in a body-like form, but
Mm-hmm.
it was everything and all. And it was like, you know why you don't like the word healing? I'm like, why? It's like, because it's not the full equation. It's like, you want to hear the full equation, then why you don't like it, why it bothers you. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, tell me, like, please. And it was like healing is remembering, remembering is healing. You noticed that what you did there and this death thing and this thing that says have the marijuana, all this led you to this place where you remembered. And you remembered at a soul level, and that's your only job is to remember. And that remembering in and itself is the healing process that people talk about. But healing is remembering and remembering is healing. And that's the full equation. If you just focus on healing all the time, you're actually perpetuating being broken by
Mm-hmm.
the very fact of using that word implies the opposite.
Hmm.
So I broke my arm at 13. This arm, that was 20 years ago. Is my arm still healing? No. So why do people talk about themselves as something that is needs fixing or being broken by the very word they use versus just being an experience? That was one of the most profound psychedelic experience. That was my most recent profound psychedelic experience. That's the last time I did psychedelics was over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't very much. And that's where I learned about how powerful when you respect marijuana is what it can do.
Mm-hmm.
Most people play in the shallows and don't go into the depths. Think about marijuana as an entity, right? And
Yeah.
think about how many people's consciousnesses that it's spent time with.
Mm-hmm.
Billions.
Mm-hmm.
But most people don't respect it and most people don't have a reverence for it. So instead, they eat food, watch porn, have sex, do all these hedonistic surface level things because the barrier of entry to get more of a depth of a relationship with marijuana is can you resist that long enough to get to the place where you can actually sit with it and let it teach you things? And a lot of people can't because it's a shadow medicine. It's fucking
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable. When
Mm-hmm.
people are like, oh, it gives me anxiety. No, it doesn't. It reveals anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I've always loved I haven't smoked it in almost a year, but I had a very long relationship with marijuana, and it was like how you talk about how psilocybin was like a friend. That's how marijuana felt to me. Like just like a friend that I would choose to hang out with. But a lot of it
yeah,
was because I was actually lonely. So
yeah,
then I
that's the
got
thing. That's
yeah,
the thing. It'll entice you with shadows. And
yeah.
if you can actually be in a really good place and like I say a prayer every time before I do it, like
Hmm.
no fucking joke. Like she will very like discreetly keep you stuck because you let her.
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about like the shadow feminine and how I also refer to her as she. And so yeah, I'm like,
She is the embodiment of shadow feminine in a medicine, and a lot of people can't fucking handle it. And when you
yeah,
sit with her long enough, yeah, I remember that experience. It's like most people don't ask about what the depths are within me. Most people can't go there. So I just let them play in the shallows. And the next
yeah,
day, I remember walking past this guy at like 7 a.m. on his balcony, ripping this giant bong and having this feeling. I was like, oh, she's really got him.
yeah,
She's really got him. And then one day he might get sober, and if he blames the medicine, he's a fool because you
yeah,
let them. Your
yeah.
soul is so much more powerful than you can think, and every time you blame somebody else, you're giving up your power.
True. Yeah, I still say I love marijuana. It's just not
So
for
do
me
I.
anymore at this time. And I not that it won't ever will be, because I'm a person where I don't ever tell myself I'll never do anything again. Because I'm
No,
like,
it's a
I don't know
new
if I will.
relationship.
Yeah, I don't know if I will or not. And I also like psilocybin was a huge part of my awakening journey. I mostly did solo trips with it, and I've had a few, nothing like quite like that, at least not that I remember now. Maybe, maybe at the time, but I remember one time, I always tell this story, but I thought I created Moana because I thought I was near the end of it, but it was a very deep dose, and I was put on Moana, and I had come to the realization that because we're all connected and our minds are all one, then I somehow also contributed to creating Moana. It was a it was quite the thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, but no, I've learned a lot from psilocybin as well. I'm a huge, I wouldn't say
Right.
advocate for plant medicine. I think everything has its time and space, and it can
Yes.
be a really powerful tool. And
Yeah.
honestly, even the not so good drugs have served me at
Yep.
times in my life, and I don't have any like I would like there's a lot of them that I don't ever believe I will go near again because they're
Same.
I'm done my journey with them, but at the same time I know they revealed a lot to me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but that was an amazing story and it's got me thinking. And I'm someone who uses the word healing, but I think that I it's like the full circle moment. Like you were talking about how healing is remembering is healing. I think that there is a time and place for healing and a time and place for remembering, and they come
A
together.
great place to start.
Yeah.
We all start at healing, don't get stuck there.
Yeah, yeah. I and then there yeah, it's just living. Like it's like I think for me healing was such a big part of my journey that like even you saying like I hate that word, I'm like I had to go through it though. Like there
The
was a part
same.
where
So
I
did
was
I.
indeed
Yeah.
healing. So
Yeah.
like I'm like but it was real, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's the I'm very interested in words and what they mean. Um like people that want to save people
mhm,
inherently don't trust that person to save themselves.
mhm, mhm,
It's a very interesting that what it implies and what it can mean. And when you dissect that, yeah, like healing is a great place to start. But if you're like, have you ever asked yourself the question of what it would be like to be healed?
mhm,
And if you have a discomfort for that, then your identity is tied to healing.
mhm. See,
Well,
I
I've never asked the
personally feel
question.
like, yeah, I personally feel like I am healed now.
Yeah,
And I would say, if anything, there would be a voice that would be like, well, you can never be fully healed, you know? And I'm like, but I believe there was a certain point where I reached being healed, and now I'm in expansion. So
yes.
I see it as like there's a point where you come to where you're healed and you sort of reach like your authentic self, your sovereign self, like oneness within yourself, and then you start expanding, and it's a different kind of sensation than healing. It's still uncomfortable and got its ups and downs, but it's kind of like what happens after
I've,
healing. Yeah.
I've found that that process you just shared right there is much harder than to heal. So
Hmm.
that's where my soul-centered selling and what I learned about selling comes in is when people reach this point, a lot of people do, they have their own experiences, they've used certain modalities and tools, they've maybe taken some courses or some schooling on things, and they want to go create a business, and they're having a hard time with the expansion phase
Hmm.
of it because what that does, it will bring up things you thought you'd healed from,
Hmm.
but it's actually all expansion. It just depends on which part of that journey you identify with.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's like, oh, well, I was healing. It's like you're actually expanding you're always expanding. You're always remembering who you and what you are at a soul level,
Hmm.
which is, yeah, that's what that is. And it's all just different words and whatever. I just find words interesting because people don't use words for no reason.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I totally resonate, and then at the same time I'm like and I also understand where my perspective comes from in it, and I agree with you, it is all expansion, although I will say there was a time when I was very much not self
Oh, fuck yeah.
within
Yeah, the
self,
journey
and
home.
yeah,
Yeah.
and now I
Yep.
feel like I am self, but
Yep.
then becoming more self. So I think there
Yes.
is almost
Yeah.
like a clear shifting point within
There
me.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
you stop looking in the rearview mirror and then you look through the windshield and then you figure out why you kept on bumping into things all the time because you were fucking looking in the rearview mirror trying to drive forward.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
And like, and I love what you said about the savior complex because we were even just talking about this on the call this morning with Nicholas. He was asking me, yeah, they were talking something about done for you work, and I was like, well, I've never done that, but I was like, what I've learned is you have to trust in God and in your higher self and in their higher self, and trust that they're going to get whatever they need, and you just show up as your best self. And I could just tell he like his wheels were turning. It was one of those moments where he was like, okay, yes, I see, but also was like, okay, I don't know if she really answered my question, but
Doing the ethereal sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes like he asked a very like kind of salesy question, and I was like, "Well, God, and this," and he's very connected to God. Don't get me wrong, but it was just so funny how I answered it. I was thinking about it later. I was like, "Huh." But anyways, well, this has been amazing. I would like to wrap it up with a quick, fun, playful lightning round.
Yeah, I was looking
Um,
forward to this. Let's
yes.
see how we go.
Okay. So, what is your sun, moon, and rising?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, you're Virgo sun. We know this.
Yes. I
Okay.
literally don't know. Lexi's told me and I've forgotten. I'm something fucking
I'm a something moon. Okay.
something moon. I forgot. She literally told me this like a few days ago. Damn it.
That's
Next.
okay. Next,
Next.
are your spirit guides loud or subtle?
Depending on where I'm at in my life.
Okay. If you've connected to any past lives, which one would you relate to the most?
I haven't yet and it interests me. I did
Okay.
have an experience once where the facilitator during a medicine experience asked me, "Hey, ask to see your ancestors." And I was in Ireland walking down this really grassy hill, and I was seeing a village in the background, and there was this little girl that was hiding from me behind a tree, and I tried to talk to her.
Huh.
And it was interesting. I said, "I'm from Australia," and she's like, "What's Australia?" Because
Interesting.
300 years ago in Ireland, 400 years ago in Ireland, Australia didn't exist.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was like, whoa, what a weird thought. She doesn't even know what I am or where I'm from, and I don't speak the language.
Yeah,
That was my experience with that, and I would like to explore it more for sure. Yeah,
cool. Maybe you talk to Adi. She does the past life regression, like
yeah.
where you could go back. I do the Akashic stuff, so I go back and relay what I'm receiving, but I feel like for
Cool.
someone like yourself, it would be beneficial for you to be the one.
I'd love to. Yeah,
Yeah, very
yeah.
cool. The most random sign the universe has ever sent you.
I had a dream for the past 12 months that I was supposed to go to Central America to meet someone. And then we go down to Nicaragua, and I had it all the time, and I would be like, I used to have real issues, like a real anxious attachment style.
Mm-hmm.
Where the thing I wanted most was deep love and connection, but I was also terrified of it because I thought it might hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was having this dream and it was triggering this thing in the past. It's like I love Lexi. Like I don't want to fucking go down and meet some person. I thought it was going to be this magical person that would like trigger something in me, and I was so scared of that. And it was a dog. It was a dog. I met a dog and I knew it instantly as soon as I looked into its eyes. I was like, "Oh,
Aw.
you're the one I'm here to meet."
Aw.
Bringing him home. His name's Nico. He's lived with us for 3 weeks now, and everything couldn't have been more perfect in
Mm-hmm.
that. And it taught me again that this fear thing, like to just really notice it and let go of it, because it's not what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so. Oh, I love that so much. So
Yeah, it
cool.
was a dog. It was not a person. I was like, I knew it instantly. I was like, oh, you're the one I'm here to meet. Cool.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Pets are so powerful. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Yep. Aw. All right, last question. If you could visit one realm or dimension tonight in a dream, where are you going?
Middle Earth.
Cool. I love
Middle
it.
Earth. I'm going to Middle Earth. I'm fucking obsessed with Lord of the Rings. I've got Aragorn's sword on my wall. I've got Lord of the Rings stuff everywhere. It is one of the greatest stories about the soul and consciousness and mythology, about healthy masculinity, about feminine power. Like,
Cool.
yeah, it's
Who's your favorite character on Lord of the Rings? I just watched it for the first time like a couple months ago.
oh wow, Aragorn, the King's Journey, but all those people within the Fellowship, every single person is a figment of me. I'm Frodo, I'm Sam, I'm Aragorn, I'm the King, I'm the warrior, the magician, like that book talks about. Like I've had those archetypes show up in deep psychedelic journeys and psychological journeys that have helped me embody those parts. Sometimes you're Frodo, sometimes you're Gandalf. You are both. You
Oh,
are the
wow, my
one
brain right
seeking.
now, if you could be inside, I'm like, whoa, it makes so
Watch
much
it
sense.
again.
They're all different parts of the psyche, like,
Yeah,
oh,
the
whoa.
Gollum is a story of addiction. If you ever dealt with addiction, there's one scene where he trusts Frodo to look after him, and then they get kidnapped by the Gondorian Rangers, and he's in that pool, and they're all aiming the bows to kill Gollum. And
Mm-hmm.
Faramir is like, "Should I shoot him?" And Frodo's like, "No, let me go down to him." And he goes down to him. He's like, "Gollum, come with me." And he's like, he trusts him. There's a trust.
Mm-hmm.
Before that happened, he actually told this part of himself to go away. He
Mm-hmm.
told this part of himself to go away. I don't need you anymore. Frodo will look after me. The
Mm-hmm.
protective part, the addict part, the part that will do anything, kill anybody, do anything. He felt safe enough to tell that part of him to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets basically betrayed, Frodo lures him from the little pond, and then he gets thrown like a hood over him, and you watch that part return. It's
Mm-hmm.
fucking powerful. He's like Smeagol. He's crying
Oh,
and
I
he's
just got
crying
chills. Oh.
and he's like, Smeagol, I told you that he would trick you. I told you that he would hurt you. And he's like, go away. And he comes back, and that part of him that has helped him keep him safe for 300-400 years because of his addiction to the ring, it's back. Here's
Yeah.
another thing that's powerful about the Lord of the Rings. There's a scene in the first one where Frodo wants to kill Gollum.
Mm-hmm.
And Gandalf is like, in fact, I have it. Where do I have it? Oh, here. It's on this. And he says, don't be so like don't be so eager to dish out death. Some people that deserve life die, and some people that deserve death live. Don't be so eager to set judgment upon somebody like that. And he has this quote, all we have to do, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. And he talks about how he wished he didn't have the ring and it was so hard. The reason why they were able to destroy the ring is because they had compassion for Gollum the entire time. If
Hmm.
they killed Gollum, would have never happened. He was the perfect thing. He ended up getting the ring finally as he fell into the fires of Mount Doom.
Mm-hmm.
The guy also spent 30, 40 years creating the world of Middle-earth. Like it's the greatest lore of any fantasy. Like he tells
I'll have
every,
to watch it again
you
now
gotta watch
with
it.
this
It's
new
fucking
insight.
awesome. I would make the podcast 2 hours if I kept talking, but thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so cool. I feel like we could have a 2 hour podcast with some of the stuff I was like, oh, we could so go deeper here, but oh, we could so like
Yep,
there was a lot of we covered a lot.
we
And
did. We did.
yeah, this has been so fun and so I'm just so excited to share this podcast with people. I feel like so much of the stuff we talked about are things I'm so passionate about, and you have such a great way of expressing deep things, which I appreciate. So
Thank you.
amazing. Well, yeah, thank you so much for being here. Can you let everyone know where they can find you or if there's any other ways to connect with you?
Yeah, I would just like probably Instagram. That's where I like post most things right now because I don't have the patience or the bandwidth to do multiple platforms. And people are like, you'll
Hmm.
do multiple platforms. I'm like, I don't want to. So Instagram, just Ahren Lynch-Potter, AHRENLYNCHPOTTER. Yeah,
Amazing. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Aaron. And thank you to everybody who is listening. And we'll see you in the next one.
bye.
Bye. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. If something in this episode resonated, let it land. You don't need to understand it all right now. Integration happens in its own time. You'll find ways to connect and explore working together in the show notes, and you're always welcome to reach out if you feel ready to go deeper. Remember, you don't have to transcend your humanity to be spiritual. Your lived experience is the initiation. Until next time, stay curious, stay embodied, and keep living multidimensionally. May your days play out for the highest good. Namaste.